Hello, everyone. I am your host, Nikita Ross. I'm here today with Brandy Jackson of the Brandy Jackson Agency. Hey, Brandy.
Hey, Keitha.
She was here actually, episode 13. It was Faith versus Fear. And in that moment, it was around like November 2018. She was going through a transition. She was going from working as a agent at Allstate. What do y'all call that?
An exclusive agent.
An exclusive agent at Allstate, and now she's an independent agent. So at that time, she was already going through the transition. It wasn't public yet, though she was making a change, but she was going through a faith walk. Fear was on her back, but she was going through a faith walk. So today, we're going to talk about March 1st is 1 year, actually, the date. So about 2 more weeks, 1 week.
Yeah, about one more week.
One more week. It'll be a whole year anniversary from her being an independent contractor, taking a faith walk. And so today we're just talking about redefining moments. You know, how that transition has defined who she is today, how she's grown as a woman, grown as a person, even grown as a mother, because she had another major transition that happened in her life as well. So she'll share that with you guys today. Welcome, Brandy.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me, Keitha. I really appreciate it. When you hit me with the question, redefining moments, that's my life. There have been so many moments that I look at and I say to myself, how did I overcome that? By redefining that moment and making it out of a positive instead of a negative.
Mm-hmm.
There have been so many things that as an adult I look at and I say to myself, what do I do? Do I have fear or do I have faith and turn the situation around? One thing that stuck out to me when you hit me with the question was, what the enemy meant for bad, God meant for good.
Yeah, Genesis.
Yes. And I say that because every situation that was meant to be bad has always turned out to be good. One thing I heard from Sarah Jakes Roberts, is her name Sarah Jakes Roberts? Okay. I was listening to her one day, and the thing that she said that really stuck out to me, and I felt it in my heart. She said, I was persecuted into position. And that's my life.
Persecuted into position. That's a powerful statement.
Yeah.
Persecuted into position. What does that mean to you?
The things that are supposedly the bad things or the things that people frown upon that has happened in my life are the things that I've actually been able to face and overcome, and those are the things that have blessed me. Being a mother, being a young teenage mother, that really took my life to a whole nother level. Some of the things, we talked about, I didn't even think about until I became a mother. So the things that were meant to be bad actually turned out to be a blessing in disguise.
Because I know, like, the Allstate situation, it wasn't planned.
It wasn't.
You probably would have been with them another 5 years. What you think?
I would have probably I would have been a whole lot more comfortable. I would have hung in there because the money was great, the opportunity was great, but I would have gotten really comfortable. And if God wouldn't have shaken things up, I wouldn't have been able to reach the next level.
He got to challenge us. He
does.
has to challenge us. He really does. He really does. So, you talk about the persecutions or the obstacles, the adversity.
Absolutely.
Tell me about your proudest moment.
One of the proudest moments that I would say for me, I was thinking about it, and I told you I had thought about one thing, and then I was like, you know what, that's so cliche. What am I absolutely proud of? When I was an Allstate agent, me and about 10 other agents got together and put together a big number of money, and we rebuilt a library.
Really?
For some children. That library was destroyed during Harvey. And that library happened to be in the same neighborhood where I grew up at. So I was able to go there. I was able to sit in the classroom and read books to children and tell them, I'm a product of this same environment that you're in right now. Mm-hmm. I made it out. I know you will. And it felt so great being able to give back to the same community that I grew up in.
Well, that is a big deal.
It was a very proud moment for me.
Because, we're in an era now where, like, libraries are, like, on a decline.
Absolutely.
You have the access to everything on your phone.
Yeah.
I remember growing up, encyclopedias.
Yeah.
Remember you used to have to look through the
Britannicas
microfiche to like actually find articles and things of
Absolutely.
that nature.
Yes.
So to me, for you to sow a seed into something that, people are not as into as they used to be, I think that's a big deal because books are like the gateway to everything.
As a mother and as a business owner and as someone that's, mentoring, the information that you need is in a book.
Mm-hmm.
I encourage you to pick up a book and read it because there's information in there. That's what knowledge is.
So speaking of books, you started this new book club, Unique
Absolutely.
Minds.
I absolutely love it. The book that we're reading is absolutely amazing.
Yes, I'm a part of that book club, and we are reading Outwitting the Devil.
Yes.
And I mean, what I like about the book club, this book club is different than anyone I've ever been on because number one, we are really digesting this book.
Absolutely. It's a heavy read, but it's
And when I say
absolutely good.
digesting it, we are reading it chapter by chapter, and each week we do a conference call and discuss the book, and monthly there's a meetup. But what I love about it is the fact that, we're digesting it. So we're not trying to, how sometimes for the book club, I've been guilty of it. Like you try to cram the book in a week so you can make sure you're ready for the book club.
Yeah.
But by us actually just taking it in doses,
Yes.
just taking it,
Yes.
reading it, digesting it, talking about it, then read the next chapter and just taking our time and pacing ourselves, I think that we're really going to be highly impacted by this book.
Yeah.
Highly impacted by this book. And it's a great read.
Oh, it's an absolutely great read. I like it. It was when I read the reviews on it, I figured it was going to be a heavy read, and so breaking it into chapter by chapter so we can actually digest it, I felt like would be most impactful for all of us because we would be able to digest it, figure out what it is. Like I'm in chapter 3 right now. I'm blown away by the devil, the interview with the devil. I mean, it blew my mind. And you have to be mentally there to receive it.
The part that got me is he just thinks so different. The writer, Napoleon Hill, he just thinks so different. He's not your average thinker,
But look how old this book is. This book was written in the 1930s and it's still relevant.
Almost 100 years old.
Yes, it's still relevant today. The information it blew my mind how old the information is.
Yeah, but the principles still apply. It reminds me of How to Make Friends and Influence People. Dale Carnegie, he mentions him in the book, right?
Yes.
Dale Carnegie wrote a book around that time, 1930, 1940, that same book. And when I tell you every principle, everything in that book is still relevant today, it blows my mind that those principles still apply. I want to talk to you about your redefining moments. Let's talk about a few things that happened in your life that kind of redefine you. Because one thing I believe that, our 20s, you're one person. In your 30s, you're one person. In your 40s, you just turned 40 a year and a half ago. I feel like each decade requires a new you.
Absolutely.
And things transpire also during those time periods that make you react and relive differently.
Oh, yeah. So going back to, I would say, my 30s.
Okay.
I became a mother of a son in my early 30s. And when I say he absolutely changed my life, he changed my life because he is completely different. You hear the saying that men are from Mars, women are from Venus. Raising a daughter and raising a son is completely different.
I agree.
He was, I would say, an unexpected blessing, but I was able to redefine that moment because he has been nothing but a blessing in my life. He has made me change in so many ways. He's made me more patient. He's made me understand having a black male in my household. He's completely different. He's wired different. So now I'm open to learning, what is it that makes him, tick, and what was different with my daughter. Like for him, he's completely different. And when I say he's a great kid, it was a redefining moment for me when I found out I was expecting because he was an unexpected blessing. Even in my 40s, I look at a tragedy that happened in 2019. January of 2019, the feet got swept up under me. And I was thrown back by a tragedy. But last year was pretty tough. And I had to sit down and I had to deal with it. Something that I didn't want to do, but I had to. And I stepped back and I basically said, what am I supposed to get from this? What is the lesson in this? There's a lesson in this. What is the silver lining in this? And so many things have come to me, and it's given me strength that I never thought I would have.
Yeah, tragedies, they do that. They build character.
Yeah. So on to something else that was a redefining moment. Like you mentioned, me becoming an insurance broker, opening up my own company. That was a redefining moment for me. It wasn't a hey, I want to do this. It was more so God said, you're ready, and I'm making it happen right now. And I transitioned, and it was definitely a redefining moment, and it was tough. It was made me sit down and soul search and say, okay, are you really ready for this? And I had to have faith over fear.
Let's talk about that. So you went from a job
Mm-hmm.
that's like a Fortune 500 company, right?
Mm-hmm.
Big company, benefits, pay vacation, been there for years. How many years did you work there?
16 years.
16 years, long time. I was probably planning on retiring from it, right?
Absolutely. That was my whole thought process. I'm going to retire from here.
Uh-huh. 9 more
Yeah.
years, 25 years, yes.
Oh, yes.
Like you already had countdown, and so
Mhm.
now you get laid off.
Mm-hmm.
And then did you get laid off?
No, I actually resigned.
Really?
I left. I took that
Because I
leap.
know during that time, a lot of people who worked there,
I
you
took that
beat
leap
them
of
to the
faith
punch.
and said,
Okay.
I want to do something different. This is no longer feeding my soul.
Wow.
I'm tired of coming in here doing the same thing every single day. It was not fulfilling me. I knew God had something greater.
So you left there and you started working for an insurance agent?
I started working for another insurance company.
Okay, company.
And I worked there for about a year. It was a great experience. It was a good way to get my foot in the door and learn a lot. I learned the underwriting side as well as, the insurance side. So it was a great transition. And then after that, I worked for 2 agents for Allstate before I became an exclusive agent myself.
Okay, so that was a path to you becoming
my own broker. Yep.
And so you worked for Allstate for how long?
I was there for 3 years, and then I left and opened up my own brokerage. So it's been a year now. Well, almost a year now.
Yeah.
Yep.
We only 11 days shy.
That's
We
right.
almost there.
That's right.
So do you have any big plans for this 1 year anniversary?
I absolutely do. One thing that I want to announce is my book is getting ready to go on pre-sale.
Congratulations.
Within about a week or so. Beindependentbook.com is going to be the link. I have decided to write a book about my journey becoming an independent insurance broker.
Okay.
I want to tell people what I did to become a broker, and I want to be able to share that information because it was a hard transition for me. I didn't have a lot of help. I didn't have a lot of people that was willing to sit down with me and say, hey, Brandy, this is what you should do. So I learned a lot along the journey, and I'm putting it all in a book because I want to be able to share this with someone else.
So I have a question for you.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of times people think, well, I'm not an insurance agent. I'm not a broker. That is not my desire. Is this book applicable to me? Can I benefit from this book? Can I learn from this book? What nuggets can a person who's just trying to be better, what can they learn from that book? Even though they're not an insurance agent.
Yeah.
They're not even in the industry, but what can they get from that book to let them know that, this book can benefit you as well?
Well, I'll have some quotes in the book, some motivational quotes that actually helped me. I was talking to my publisher this morning, and we were just talking about a few things about the book, and I was telling her, I said, this has been a tough transition. I said the reason why I chose those motivational quotes, because some days I wanted to throw in the towel and said, I quit, I'm tired.
Mm-hmm.
But I had to keep going, and those were some of the things that kept me going and that I was able to listen to and motivate me to continue to go on. So there definitely will be some information in the book that can help the next person.
So I have another question. My other question is this. A lot of times in the Black community, we hate to talk about money. I'm not going to ask you your income. That's not what I'm going to ask you. But what I want to know is, we really don't like money is like sex. It's almost taboo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
sometimes we need to know some concrete facts in order to help us get pushed to the next level.
Yeah.
And so my question for you is this. Going from being an, employee to being an employer, what was your transition like before you actually saw profit? Because, when you go into business, we got to be honest. I want to be honest with people.
Absolutely.
You put in money, you building, you sowing seeds. And even when you're making money, it's like you put the money back into the business to make sure the business continue to grow when you first start. So I want to tell the audience,
Oh, yeah.
does it take 2 years?
It's real.
Yeah, I want them to understand, it takes some time.
So can I go back a little bit?
Yeah, sure.
So when I decided to leave AT&T and open up my own business and go into the insurance industry, I always knew I wanted to be my own boss. I wanted to be an entrepreneur. I wanted to work for myself. The one thing that I was fearful of, I didn't know where the money was going to come from.
Mm-hmm.
So as I transitioned, I got a call one day from a old coworker and said, hey, I think you should look into this. I think you may have a pension that you can pull out. So I was like, okay, I'll look into it. I think about 3 weeks went by, and I was sitting at a desk in an office where it was a very uncomfortable work environment. And I said, you know what, let me look into this. So I called Fidelity, and I talked to one of the representatives. And he acted like he couldn't find my information, which I was so frustrated. I was like, yeah, I'm sure I got a pension. So he put me on hold, and he came back. About 5 to 6 minutes later, he came back and he said, hey, Ms. Jackson, I just want to let you know that I was looking into more information. Not only do you have one pension, you have 3 pensions. So I remember having this conversation with my mom. I said, I want to open up my own agency, but I don't know where the money is going to come from. She said, keep preparing. The money is going to come. And at the blink of an eye, I had the capital to start my agency. Mm-hmm. Now, starting a business, you spend a lot of money.
You do.
I mean, down from, getting a location, paying your employees. You got to do payroll. I had people working for me. So people don't understand the whole entrepreneur thing until you're actually somebody else's. You paying their paycheck.
Payroll is a different beast.
Oh, it's a different beast.
We have to do taxes.
Oh, absolutely.
And unemployment taxes.
Yes.
Yes. And they don't understand that it's higher. You actually paying another tax on having your employee.
But just having that pressure of someone else, you pay them.
And they depend on you.
And their family is depending on me. So that's a whole nother beast in itself. So you got to look at your payroll. You have to look at location. You have to look at your office supplies, your computers. So when I say I spent quite a bit of money starting my business, you spend every bit of money making sure that you have what you need. Going into my business when I first started as an exclusive agent with Allstate, I didn't know what was going to happen. All I knew was I got crazy faith. I'm going to go in here with my blinders on, and I'm going to do what I do best is hustle, and I'm going to get it. Mm-hmm. My first 3 months in the business, I made the highest award that you can make as an agent with them. I made a trip to Hawaii in the Circle of Champions. Everybody was scratching their heads trying to figure out. In 3 months. How did she do that?
Hustling and having crazy faith.
Pure hustle and crazy faith. God, I don't know how you're going to do it, but you're going to do it.
He always provides.
So I remember a redefining moment. I got all the way down till almost my last everything starting my business.
Your new business?
When I was with Allstate. Uh-huh. And I remember just having enough to make sure that everything was paid at my office, making sure I can pay my employees my payroll. So I got a bonus check, and it was decent. And then my first month commission check came in. And when I say that, not only does God give you back, but he give you back more than what you spent. Like you said, I don't want to go into detail, but I will tell you that the insurance industry is very lucrative. It's a place that a lot of people have become very wealthy. Mm-hmm. And I will tell you that I made somebody probably whole yearly salary in one check. But that was believing God, and that was having faith, and that was going in and working. Mm-hmm. I had worked and worked and worked, and that was a redefining moment for me as well. I didn't know how or when or how things were going to work out. I just went in with crazy faith. Everybody around me probably thought, what is she doing? And I just kept going without even thinking about what could possibly go wrong.
Oh, yeah, because you think about focus on what can go wrong, you drive yourself crazy.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, because in the back, we already know what could go wrong. But if you just focus on what could go right, though.
Yeah.
What could go right? What if everything works out the way it's supposed to work out? You know?
Absolutely.
But I always tell people, especially my daughter, Jada, I'm like, you know what, Jada? Every morning, we make a choice.
That's right.
We lay in the bed every morning when we wake up, and we make a choice. Mm-hmm. Are we going to be happy, or are we going to be sad today? Is today going to be a good day, or is today going to be a bad day? It literally starts in your mind.
Yeah.
Right? And when you say it's going to be a good day, even when curveballs are thrown your way, you're like, you know what? I ain't going to let it ruin my day. I'm not going to let this 5 minutes of drama or this 60 minutes of whatever mess up the whole other 23 hours of the day. You know what I mean? And so going back to, it's a choice. So going back to, being an entrepreneur and stepping out on faith, of course we know the ramifications. Of course we know the cons. We just try to focus on the good.
Absolutely.
That's all you really can do.
That's all you can do.
I mean, thoughts become words and words become action.
Absolutely.
I mean, it's really that simple.
Yeah.
It's really that simple. You go home and be like, man, I made it.
Yeah.
I didn't know how I was going to do it, but I did it. I tell people all the time that, so crazy about my life. As much as a planner that I am, so much of my life just happens. I wake up, I have an idea, and I'm trying to execute it next week. Ain't like I saved all year for this idea.
Yeah.
I have a wild hair up my butt and be like, I'm finna do this.
But that's how you manifest things. You just think about what could go right.
I think that's why I act so fast, because I don't want to overthink it.
Yeah.
I think the longer, if I sit on it too long,
Mm-hmm.
I start saying, but what if they don't come? Or what if they don't support it? Or what if they don't buy it? The longer I wait, I think that's why I'm so irrational sometimes.
Yeah.
When I do have an idea, because I just want to execute before I even start talking myself out of it.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah. That makes sense.
You mentioned your mom.
Yes.
You mentioned your mom saying, just baby, keep preparing.
Yes.
Keep preparing.
Yes.
How was your childhood? Like, how has she been? And the reason why I'm asking about your childhood, how was she so instrumental in who you are today and how you're raising your children? Because some things we be like, I'm never going to do this like my mom, but then we end up being our own mom all over again. It's like, I'm not going to do this, but then you end up being your mom all over again.
All over again. She has, when I say that's like my BFF, we talk every single day. And if I'm having a bad day, she's that person I can call, and she's going to know exactly what to say. Growing up in the household, my mom was an entrepreneur. She did hair for almost 30 years, and I seen the hours that she put in. I seen the hustle. I seen her come home, with a lot of money, and, and I seen how hard she worked. And even with my dad was an entrepreneur as well as he worked in the corporate world. So I seen both sides of it.
Mm-hmm.
And both of them, the wisdom that he would sit down and talk to me about and the things that he says, even though he's no longer here, I still remember those things. Those things would help mold me. But with my mom, she's that rock of our family. She's that person that everybody calls when they're having a bad day, or if, you need something. She's that person that we can all go to, and she knows exactly what to say. But growing up, yes, I look at her in a lot of ways. I am like her right now today. She was a strong mother, and so am I.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Outside of your family members, who was somebody who really invested in you as a child? Somebody you look back at and like, man. And I thought about it when I sent you that question, like, who invested in me as a child? And I remember two teachers. I'm like, that is ironic. They both were black male teachers.
Mm-hmm.
They were black male teachers, both of them. And I don't know if it was because I maybe lacked a father figure or what, but it's like they took me under their wing. Like if I was doing something that was crazy, they were like, now you're smarter than that.
Right.
Now why you being foolish like these other fools? It's like they would definitely say little things to me. And I thought about it when I sent you that question. I'm like, how ironic that two men, have invested in me and saw so much potential in me.
Yeah. Yeah. Growing up, I'll think about one teacher that I know for sure in high school. She would not allow me to quit. She was my cosmetology teacher.
Really?
Yes. And when I say she was on me, Miss Lewis was on me. She did not allow me to quit. Every time I say I quit, she would call my mom, and she would not allow me to quit. She always pulled me into her office. She cared. I can remember those conversations that we had in her office to say, hey, you've come too far to turn around now. I believe in you. I know you have what it takes. I went to state board, and I passed that test on the first try. Without even, just without even trying, really. And, I really remember that because as a kid growing up, we need those people in our lives to say, I believe in you.
Yes.
You can do it.
Yes.
Don't quit.
Mm-hmm.
And I still hold that. When I see her right now today, all we do is hug, and I appreciate her for putting that into me, because had I started quitting then, I would be quitting on everything now.
When things get hard.
Yeah.
Mr. Coleman was my 6th grade teacher.
Mm-hmm.
And he was the person who made me realize how smart I was.
Mm-hmm.
He was like, quit playing yourself small.
Mm-hmm.
Quit minimizing how bright you are.
Mm-hmm.
Shine bright like who you are. And I really didn't, I knew I was smart enough, but I didn't think I was like cream of the crop of the class. You get what I'm saying? And so he started putting me in all these different like little contests and competitions and math competitions and spelling bees and oratorical contests.
Yeah.
And he saw that in me. This is something I would have never signed up on my own.
But we just talked about that on our call last week. You remember when we had our call for the book club? how we are our worst enemies. We are so hard on ourselves. Everybody else can see your worth. They can see how good you are at what you do. And we are like, really? I don't see that. But we're hard on ourselves when the other people can see that. You know, I've had people to come up to me and say, you really inspired me. And I'm like, how? But so many people are watching my story, and they're saying, you can't quit because I'm counting on you.
Yes. And social media has really allowed people to have access.
Yeah, to our lives.
Yes, access and, you know, just to say, you know, I'm watching you. I'm seeing what you're doing. You know, like, oh, wow. You know, I was walking out of school today on my way here. And I've been going to school with this young lady since August. And, you know, we in class. We don't follow each other on social media. You know, she doesn't follow me. I don't follow her. Well, I put up a contest today about the Fearless Female Retreat.
Absolutely.
And so one of the girls in the class, one of the women in the class, she follows me. And she was like, girl, look at Nikita. She just snuck out of class and made this video. And so Sharonda said to me, when I was leaving out of the building today, and she said, what you about to do? I said, girl, I'm leaving early. I'm finna go do a podcast. She said, Nikita, I saw your contest. I've been on your Instagram for 2 hours. She said 2 hours. She was like, I'm just so impressed by you. She was like, you come to school every day, you wear your scrubs, you wear your lab coat, and you just blend in. Like, you're not trying to stand out. She was like, you are so amazing. Like, all the stuff that you're doing, and you never even talk about it. And she was like, please, pressure me. Invite me some places. Make me do some stuff. She was like, because I'm not pushing myself, and you just going. Going. So it's just crazy that, you know, I sit by her every day, but that 2 hours on social media gave her a whole newfound respect, inspiration, and perception of me. Not that she thought I was a bad person, but you know what I mean?
But you are absolutely inspiring. You know how many times you inspired me?
Don't make me blush.
No, I'm absolutely serious. I remember calling you and having a conversation with you about my transition. And the first thing you was like, we're not having a pity party. So what's next?
Yeah. That's me.
You said, what's the next thing? What's plan B? And I thought about that, and I said, she's right. I should keep going. And that was an inspiring moment for me, because you could have been like, oh, friend, you know, what are you going to do? But you never said that. You said, what's next? And that really inspired me.
Well, thank you.
We all need those friends in our lives.
I just try to be a friend of people that I want, you know, them to be for me, you know?
Absolutely.
And when we're going through tough situations, we don't want a person to be like tearing us down. You already feel bad.
Absolutely.
So it's like, okay, what's next? What we going to do? Like, we're not going to stay here. Again, going back to the day.
Yeah.
If we got 60 minutes that's bad in the day, it ain't going to run over 23 hours,
that's right?
And so look at you now, though. Look at you now.
Yes.
A whole year later.
Independent
Independent contractor. You did something that you probably wouldn't have done for years, but God puts us in compromising positions all the time
to make us grow.
And look at you now, looking good. Daughter got a new car, got to upgrade it. You know what I mean? You living good. What I'm just saying though, you know, something that you didn't plan, something that wasn't even premeditated.
That's right.
Well, a whole year ago, you probably was a nervous wreck.
Oh yeah.
And look at you now, but that was another redefining moment. You know?
Yes, it was definitely a redefining moment. I can't even believe it that it's about to be a whole year.
Yes, it is about to be a whole
year. I made it.
You made it, and you're going to keep making it. And before you know it, it's going to be 10 years. Speaking of anniversaries, it's a shame. Today is 360 Degrees Hair Studio 17th year anniversary.
Oh my God.
Yes.
Congratulations.
You know, it's so crazy because time flies. 17 years. Jada was a baby.
Wow.
And I'm just saying that to say, when I started a business, man, 17 years seems so far away. And so I'm just saying best wishes with you and your business. And 16 years to come, 25 years to come, 50 years to come. We are doing generational. Yes. I was about to say that.
Yes.
Generational wealth, leaving legacies and having businesses that last a quarter of a century, half a century, you know, that we pass down to our children. So thank you so much for coming. Please follow her on Instagram.
The Insurance Diva.
The Insurance Diva. Watch her journey. She always have great quotes, keeping you inspired. I'm Nikita Ross. I will be back Friday, 2 episodes this week. This episode is going to be called Figuring It Out at 40. Until next time, bye.